Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And today is kind of like two things that I'm going to be talking about in here. Now, if you watch my vlog, I mentioned the first thing on there, and I've actually mentioned it on this channel before. I think I've even read parts of it on here. But it is an activity, a journal, a workshop, call it what you want, that I did several years ago. I was trying to figure out last night when I did it last, and I think it was probably the year that because I didn't go to meetings for a couple years. I think it was the year that I came back in. But I remember that when I read this book and I participated, in these activities, that my husband said to me, "You are the most positive and the happiest I've seen you in a really, really long time." So that book is The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. I have talked about this in a lot of my videos recently, a lot of my vlogs recently, that I really wanted to do it again. I thought July 1st would be a great day to do this, so I'm going to do it. But listen, okay, if you're getting this now, and I'm not going to do, it's not like we're not doing it as a read-along, so it's not like you have to start this on July 1st with me, right? I'm going to be kind of discussing some things on the vlog and doing it with people over there. I will not be doing it on this channel because, to be honest with you, it's just a lot of structure, and if I get off of it, then I'll be like, oh, I've let everybody down, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be talking about my experience from this, which that's our meditation today. It's called Experience. I am going to talk about my experience with this on the vlog. So if you don't watch the vlog, that's where I'll be talking about this. Now, I don't know how I heard about this book, in all honesty. I had read Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, which is about the law of attraction, and I didn't necessarily get the profound, life-changing experience from The Secret that everybody else did. I felt like a lot of it was common knowledge, but I did really start putting a lot of what she talked about in action. So for me, the book The Secret was, if you've never read it, you should read it. And if you've never, there's a movie you can watch, and you can listen to it on audio, but the movie I think is on YouTube, and it has all these people sharing their experience and things like that with the law of attraction and how it works. I guess, for me, I really kind of thought at that time, it's funny, because when I look back, I really wanted a Porsche Cayenne, which is, in retrospect, I have no desire for a Porsche Cayenne, But at that time that I read that book, I really wanted a Porsche Cayenne. And so it was kind of a lot about visualizing yourself doing these things, and oh, if you see yourself in a Porsche Cayenne, you'll eventually drive a Porsche Cayenne. I don't know that I really think that that's what the law of attraction is about, I just don't think it's that easy for some of us out there. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and, she is gorgeous, and she has been a model and was in pageants and things, and we were talking about it, and she's like, I made a list of 10 things, and, all these things came true within a year, and I'm like, but a lot of doors open for you that don't necessarily open for me at 40 years old, you know what I mean? And I'm not a supermodel, let's just be for real. And she's like, I know, but it's really just more about the attitude. And what I realized from the law of attraction when I read it or from The Secret, was that it was really about your mindset of being able to feel like you are prepared to receive something in your life. And I don't know that it was necessarily about any kind of Porsche Cayenne. It was about, if I see myself that way, then that's going to force me to work harder, or to question why that's something that I need in my life. And I think that's really what happened to me, is why is that even important to me? Is it just a want and a desire because it would be nice to have a fun car like that, Or is it something to me that how do I see myself when I'm, driving that car? And I think that that was a big part of it, and it was really me needing to work on confidence and self-worth and things like that. It had very little to do with the car, because when I started feeling better about myself, the need to have the car went away. So I don't know, but that's for me how it worked. And I read The Secret, and at that time I was reading a lot of books. Melody Beatty, who I read all of her meditations on here, she also has a book, and I think it's called 40 Days and 40 Nights. And I read it, and it is good as well. It doesn't have, I don't know, the hands-on activities that this one does, and I really, really like this. And actually, when people ask me about Rhonda Byrne, they're like, oh, you love The Secret. The magic is better to me than The Secret. And I think she has the magic, the power, the secret, and the hero. And I have the hero down there, and I've never read it. So let me tell you a little bit about this. I did this in February, and the reason I know is because I went to chapter 1 in here, and or day 4, and it says, I don't have it written on day 4, I have it written on day 1. Hold on a second. And it says 2-5, so I must have done it in February. And that's kind of why I thought that I did it like the year that I came back into the Rooms of Recovery, because I came back in January, so it makes sense that I started reading this book then. Let me read the back of the book to you. One word changes everything. But I do remember reading this book in a bookstore and thinking to myself, oh my God, I want that. For more than 20 centuries, words within a sacred text have mystified, confused, and been misunderstood by almost all who read them. Only a very few people through history have realized that the words are a riddle, and that once you solve the riddle, once you uncover the mystery, a new world will appear before your eyes. In the magic, Rhonda Byrne reveals this life-changing knowledge to the world. Then on an incredible 28-day journey, she teaches you how to apply this knowledge in your everyday life. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what your current circumstances, the magic is going to change your entire life. And I read somewhere, it must have been like on a book thing, or when I was, I don't know, it said something about like, do you want to experience the feelings of Christmas every day, or Santa Claus? I was like, yeah, of course. And it was like, do you want real magic in your life? And I was like, oh yeah, because you know, I'm down with all the mystical stuff. And then what I realized was the book is all about gratitude. And it's just, everything is about gratitude. It's really easy to read. The whole book is like 250 some pages. And it's fantastic. And it has it broken down. And so there's like, you do like a gratitude list every day. And there's little activities that you do. It explains the activities. It explains why you're doing it. For example, one of the things that you do is you make a list of like, every amount of money that's ever been given to you, whether it's in clothes or education or, you know, food that your parents gave you when you were growing up, but all of it, right? And you really look at your entire life from a financial point of view, and it makes you look at money in a completely different way, right? And I really do think that that had a lot to do with my whole perspective change on what do I need and what do I want. My needs and my wants are different, you know? And really kind of putting that into perspective. Another thing it does in here is, and I've talked a lot about this in my vlog, there's a magic rock exercise where you find a rock that you really, really like, and then, or, you know, whatever. Like right now I have a shell that I use that Alex found for me when we were on vacation. And you just hold it at the end of the night or look at it. Sometimes I just look at it because I'm too tired. And you go through all the memories of your day, right? Like every little memory that happened, or every moment that happened throughout the day, and you pick your favorite. And one of the things that it does is it readjusts your mind before you go to bed to really focus on the positive, to not just focus on like, oh, woe is me, I have to do this, I have to do that. Because I'm somebody that spins before I go to bed, and I need to make lists and things like that. But when you're falling to sleep, and like for me, every night before I go to bed, I do my prayers, my meditations, my gratitude lists, and then to sit there and go through my entire day and be like, oh, these are my favorite parts of the day. Which one was my absolute favorite? The other thing that's interesting about that is, when I started it, thought they would be big memory moments that would be my favorite parts of the day. They never are that. You know, sometimes it's like having a glass of lemonade on the front porch reading, you know, or watching the dogs walk around in the backyard, or, you know, going for a night swim. It's always like these small moments. And what I realized through that was that the small moments are what really make my life, you know. And so anyway, the magic, I'm going to be doing it for the next 28 days, starting today. If you want to do it, you can do it with me. You can probably get it overnighted or get it on your Kindle, or they have it like at every like used bookstore. I've seen it, so there it is. All right, now let's read today's meditation, which is from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone, and it is called Experience, July 1st. Experience is not what happens to a man, it is what a man does with what happens to him. Aldous Huxley. We all know people who have gone through experiences that should have made them stronger, more interesting, more confident, or more empathetic. Yet somehow they've passed through the experiences seemingly unfazed. We should see such people as cautionary examples of what happens when we fail to actively engage in the world. Our experiences are not going to do anything for us unless we choose to do something with our experiences. I will try to see every experience as a chance to learn about myself and grow into a better person. And I think that's a fantastic meditation. You know, I think like, do you notice that every day I say, this is a fantastic meditation, this is a great meditation? But they're all really pretty good, you know? I think like in my life, I actually just talked at length about this in my vlog the other day. You know, in my life, I don't know that it's the things that have happened to me, more so than the openness to experience the lesson. And I think that's really what it's about, you know, is really being open to the lesson. And I think that's what this meditation is about. There are a lot of people that have gone through some very similar things that I have, but have learned absolutely nothing over it, you know? And there's probably some things that other people have gone through that are very similar to what I've gone through, and they've learned the lesson and I haven't, because I wasn't open to it. And, you know, and maybe I wasn't open to receive it at that point. And I think that's what it's about, you know? I don't, sometimes, like, I look and I think to myself, why did it take me so long, I mean, to learn this lesson? Like, this has been going on for 20 years of my life, right? But maybe I wasn't open to it at that time. I mean, I can be open to lessons at any time in my life, but maybe I'm a little bit more resistant to some lessons than others, you know? And I think that's true of all of us. None of us are a perfect example of ourselves or anybody else. And so I think, you know, maybe for me, when I see somebody that has gone through something similar to me, and you think to yourself, well, they didn't learn anything through this, right? Like, what did they learn? Which we're quick to judge in our heads, right? And, I mean, I know I am sometimes. But maybe instead of that, you know, like, thinking to ourselves, well, what are the things that I'm not learning? What are the things that have been presented to me that I've been resistant to, you know? And taking it one step further, and then doing inventory on that and looking at it and saying, okay, these are the things that I need to work on going forward. So anyway, I hope that you will join me in doing the magic. If not now, maybe sometime down the road. And I love you guys, and I hope you enjoy the meditation, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.